This is Math 2, 9.4 notes. That's Math 2, Unit 9, Lesson 4. Now this unit that was sent home, the second packet, or if you're getting offline, is a little out of order. We jumped from Unit 12 to Unit 9. It's kind of all over the place with numbers, and I am aware of that, but that's just the way things worked out. Okay, so this has nothing to do with the old Unit 9 that we did while we were at West. This is a Unit 9 volume of prisms and cylinders. It was our old Unit 9 years ago, and we just did not renumber it, so it stayed Unit 9. Volumes of prisms and cylinders. Before I get too far, I would like to point out that from worksheet 9.4 that you should skip numbers 7 and 13 through 17. I'll put that worksheet. This is the worksheet here. You're going to skip 7 and 13 through 17. Number 7 is this one here. Cross it out. And 13 through 17 is the fourth page in this whole page here. You're just going to cross out. Okay? Alrighty. Now, before we get too far into volume, I want to do a quick area review. All right, area review from elementary school. How do you find the area of a rectangle? Now, an area of a rectangle, it works the same as the area of a square, and that is length times width. Square would be length times length or width times width because they would be the same value. Okay, area of a triangle, if you remember, is base times height divided by 2. Or you may have learned it as 1/2 base times height, however your teachers taught it to you. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to work with the area of a circle, and that is pi r squared. Okay, so in order to work with volume, you will need to remember the area of these shapes. So let's go ahead and figure out volume. What is volume? Volume is capacity. How much can something hold? Capacity. Again, how much can something hold? Okay, and the formula for volume is area of the base times the height. Area of the base times the height of the prism. Area of the base times the height of the prism. We're going to write it like this from now on, big B times H. You will need to remember that big B stands for area of the base, and H stands for not just height, but height of the prism. Okay, number 1. I want you to find the volume. And we are going to draw a rectangular prism. So, draw it with me, hit pause, rewind if needed. Just draw your standard rectangle. Now, you may have been taught this method of 3D drawing before. So there's your standard rectangle. And then move a little bit behind it and draw another rectangle. But I'm going to draw them dotted. I'll tell you when to go solid. And then here's another dotted. And then this rest is solid and solid. So it's just another rectangle on the back of this one. Like here's this one. I moved it back a little bit. Drew my other one, and then I'm going to connect top with the top, bottom with the bottom as a solid, bottom, top. And there is your rectangular prism. Okay, we are going to put some sides in. This is 10, this is 2.5, and this is 7. Volume equals area of the base times the height of the prism. Here is the area of the base here. Now, with the rectangular prism, you can pick any side for the area of the base. You could pick the bottom, you could pick the top, which is the same thing. You could pick the right or left, you could pick the front or back. It doesn't matter. I'm picking that there as my base, the part that would be touching the table if this was sitting on a desk. Okay, again, volume equals big B times H. And a reminder that big B is area of the base, and H is height of the prism. Okay, what is big B in this problem? Big B is the area of the base, and this is a rectangular base, so length times width. We reviewed that right up here, length times width. So that is 10 times 2.5. So the area of the base is 25. And then the volume is area of the base, which is 25, times the height. The 7 here is the height of the prism. So 25 times 7, plug that in your calculator, and you end up with 175 units cubed, or cubic units. And volume is always cubic units, cubic feet, cubic inches. This one didn't give us any measurement, so that's why I put units cubed. Because say this was feet, you would have feet times feet times feet, which would be feet cubed. Or inches times inches times inches, which is inches cubed. Okay, number 2. Okay, a rectangular solid with the length equaling 12 feet, H, which is the height, equaling 3 feet, and a volume of 216 feet cubed, period. Find the width. Okay, before I go any further, I want to jump back to this rectangular prism really quick. And it was indeed area of the base times the height, but just want to remind you that, again, when you were in elementary school, your teacher probably taught you to find it using length times width times height, which does work as well. Now, that length times width times height works when it's a rectangular prism. So I'm going to put that here. Volume equals length times width times height. That's only when it's a rectangular prism or rectangular solid, which is this is here. And sometimes it's easier to think of it as just length times width times height. You could have done 10 times 2.5 times 7 and end up with the same exact answer. Okay, so I'm going to do that here. I'm going to use that formula. Volume equals length times width times height, and plug in what I know. Volume is 216. Length is 12. Width is what I'm looking for. And height is 3. So 12 times 3 is 36. So I have 216 equals 36W. Divide both sides by 36. And I got 36 because of 12 times 3. And plug in your calculator. 216 divided by 3. And you end up with 72. I'm sorry, I did that wrong. Not by 3, by 36, and you should end up with 6. 216 divided by 36, and you end up with 6, and the unit of measurement is feet. So the width is 6 feet. And you can test it. Volume equals length 12 times width, which we just found to be, and this is all feet, times 6 feet, times height, which is 3 feet. And if you plugged in 12 times 6 times 3, let's try it. 12 times 6 times 3 equals 216. Feet times feet times feet is feet cubed. And there's your volume. It checks. The volume they gave you was indeed 216 feet cubed. Here's your answer. This is our check work. Okay, moving right along. Number 3. a cube volume of 27 meters cubed, period. Find the length of an edge. Find the length of an edge. Okay, so I'm going to draw a picture. It didn't give us one. I'm going to draw one. It's not necessary, but I'm just going to draw it. Now, it says it is a cube. Now, a cube means it's a square made into a three-dimensional prism, a square-based prism, which means the length, the width, and the height are all the same. So let's go ahead and draw our square in the front, square in the back, and connect, 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 connect. Okay, so because it's a cube, that means the length, the width, and the height are all the same. So I'm just going to put X's for all of them. The length, the width, and the height are all the same. So volume equals X times X times X. Now we know volume is 27 equals X times X times X. Add your exponents like we learned units ago. X times X times X is X cubed. What is the inverse operation of X cubed? The cube root of X. And I'm not sure if we've done that in class before, but we've done the square root of X plenty of times where this should feel, oh, that makes sense. Cube roots and cubes are inverse operations. They undo each other. What is the cube root of 27? What times what times what? Itself 3 times. You can break it down. 9 and 3, 3 and 3. The cube root of, you need to have 3 of them in order for it to come out. And you have exactly enough. The cube root of 3, I'm sorry, the cube root of 27 is 3. So 3 meters is the length of an edge. All right, and you can test it. Plug in 3. If your length is 3, then your width is 3, and your height is 3, and 3 times 3 times 3. Or more specific, 3 meters times 3 meters times 3 meters would be 27 meters cubed. Okay, number 4. Now another 3D object, so I'm going to go slow, make sure you're drawing with me. We're going to draw a triangular prism, a right triangular prism. So I'm going to start down here because I will build up on the back side, and I'm going to draw a right triangle like so. Okay, then I'm going to scooch my way back. Kind of imagine this as being the height of your prism, and then I'm going to draw another right triangle. These first 2 lines here are going to be dotted. But there's my right triangle. Can you see it? The length and width, or base and height. And then here's my hypotenuse. I'm going to connect the top corner, the back bottom corner, and the front bottom corners. And there's your triangular prism. Okay, so let's put some sides in. This is 6, this is 8, and this is 12. And volume is still the area of the base times the height. Now remember, this is the B, the big B is area of the base, and the H is the height of the prism. Okay, height of prism. Okay, I will go ahead and do big B first. Big B is area of the base. Now, where's the base? Is the base this piece here that would be touching the table? Is the base this piece that's kind of on the back side? Is the base this slanted piece? Like if this was a slice of cheese, this would have been the piece I sliced through. What is it? What is the base? The base is between, it's the sides that are parallel. Okay, so here, this line is here, that line is there. Can you see that those lines are parallel? So the base is this triangle here. there's a triangle, there's a triangle, and those two bases are parallel to each other. Can you see all the other? There's three flat, like rectangular surfaces. There's that top piece, there's the bottom piece, and there's the back piece. None of those are parallel to each other. That back and that bottom, nor the slanted piece here, none of those are parallel. These two bases are the pieces that are parallel, so those are the bases. So it is a triangular prism. All right, review. Area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Now, I want to make sure you understand the difference between the height of the base and the height of the prism. Height of the prism is the leg that holds the two, that connects the two bases. Front base, back base, this is the leg that connects the two, so this is the height of the prism. The height of the prism is always the leg that connects the two bases. Got it? Okay, so area of the base is going to be base times height divided by 2. Now, this height is different from the height of the prism. This is talking about just this triangle here, just the 6 and the 8. That's all it's talking about. It's not referring to the whole shape, just the triangle. Okay, so because it's a right triangle, it's easy. The base is 6 and the height, the base is 8 and the height is 6. You don't have to worry about finding and using other formulas. It's given to you. It's nice and easy when it's a right triangle. So the area of the base equals 6 times 8 divided by 2. So plug that in your calculator, 6 times 8 divided by 2. You should end up with 24. Okay, so I have volume equals area of the base, which is 24, times the height of the prism, not the height of the triangle, the height of the prism, which is 12. So I have volume equals 24 times 12, which is 288 units cubed, or cubic units. Volume is always cubic units. Okay, number 5. You're now going to draw a cylinder, which is similar to a can. So draw your circle, draw your sides, and then down here draw half of a circle, and the second half I'm going to draw dotted, and there is our cylinder. You can see it has a circular base because the bases are parallel, so the height would be the lines connecting the two circular bases. So there's a base, there's a base, and the pieces I'm going to give you in this picture is that this here is 12 inches and this here is 9 inches. Nope, I'm sorry. Inches. Okay, so volume, just like the previous problem, is area of the base times height. Area of the base times the height of the prism. We just said earlier that there is the height of the prism. The circles are the bases, and since it's a circle, we now need to, I'm going to put big B equals area of the base. Since it is a circle, we have to remember what the formula is for the area of a circle. Here it is here, pi r squared. Area of the base is pi r squared. Area of the base is pi radius squared, and radius is 12. So the area of the base is 144 pi. And my volume is going to equal the area of the base, which is 144 pi, times the height of the prism, and the height of the prism is 20. So you have 144 times 20, plug that in your calculator. The volume is 2,880. Pi, don't forget your pi is still there, it did not disappear. And what's our units of measurement? Inches cubed. 2,880 units cubed. Okay, that is it for this set of notes. I will post a video for homework questions tomorrow. So that is it for this lesson.